Tonight on News 5 Live, roll up your sleeves, Belizean teens. The first dose of Pfizer vaccine for young people have arrived. A nurse who tested positive is told to stay on the job. And the Prime Minister talks about the central bank, Stevedores, and much more. Details of these stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
It's a fact that with Smart, you get truly unlimited everything. Only with Smart, you get unlimited data anytime, while with the other guy, it's only double data on weekends. With unlimited data every day with Smart, there's no need to wait. So, it's a fact that our unlimited plans beat the competition. Stop being measured and told when to use your data and get unlimited talk, text, and data. Experience the true unlimited plans with Smart. That's a fact. Make the switch and live smart.
If you are ailing due to a chronic disease and are left permanently invalid before retirement age, you may want to check if you qualify to receive invalidity benefit. The invalidity benefit exists for persons who are unable to continue working due to permanent illness. To qualify, you must be under 60 years old, must be sick for 26 consecutive weeks and certified to be medically unable to perform any type of work, must have at least 5 years of paid SSB contributions and at least 5 paid within the 3 months leading up to your illness. If you do not qualify for the invalidity pension, you may be eligible for the invalidity grant. Want to know more about invalidity benefit? Visit our website or contact any of our offices to have someone assist you. Also, be sure to visit our Facebook page and give us a like to stay informed. Social Security Board. Safeguarding you, your family, your future.
Introducing Edam A cheese, the A+ Dutch cheese to hit the Belizean market. As the name says, it is of A-class quality, the best Dutch cheese in Belize. Edam A cheese is creamier, less salty, and simply more delicious. Don't be left out. Get your A cheese at a supermarket near you. A cheese exclusively distributed by Unitex Company Limited. Call us at 610-3626 or 610-8910. Follow us on Facebook at Unitex Belize.
Whether you're at home, on the road, at work, or at school, if you see news happening or suspect that something might be up, call or text the Channel 5 News Belize tip line at 672-5555. You don't have to give us your name, just give us the tip. That's 672-5555. Call or text us so we can check it out.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank. Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Wednesday, August 18th. I am Sabrina Daly. This morning, the press lay-waited Prime Minister John Bersenio as he left a radio station to ask him about a range of burning issues. Chief among them, the surprise departure of Central Bank Governor Gustavo Vazquez after only 4 months. Vazquez had told staff he, quote, faced stiff opposition from the Ministry of Finance and special financial and economic sector interests, unquote. Today, PM Briceño refuted Vazquez's claim that his ministry was trying to control the central bank.
He is absolutely wrong, because I could assure you that myself as the Minister of Finance and my Deputy Minister of Finance was in no intentions of trying to control the central bank. But we do have a responsibility to see the central bank as the government's banker. The central bank has to be the governors, the governments of Belize's chief cheerleader in trying to get the economy going, in trying to get the banks to reduce their interest rates, in trying to get all that excess liquidity being pumped into the economy, to grow the economy, to create investments, to create jobs. And the board is feeling that they were not seeing that, and they felt at the end of the day that it's best that we part ways. I had to, despite the fact that Manuel is my friend, remains my friend, I am here to do a job. And so I had to accept the recommendation of the board. As I can tell you that I am the one that recommended Mr. Manuel Vazquez to be appointed as governor of the central bank, but it just seemed that the governor and the board of directors were just not getting along.
In response to a question on the optics of firing Vazquez, who worked for years with the IMF, the Prime Minister said that the IMF will see the results of the work that the government has been doing in terms of the fast regrowth of the economy. He said former governor of the bank, Sidney Campbell, will not return to that position. PM Briceño said that Vazquez and the government are currently in negotiations to work out a settlement for his $3 million contract. Last week, it made headlines that BTL cellular accounts assigned to personnel with the Ministry of Rural Transformation, Community Development, Labor and Local Government were switched to smart mobile accounts. In response, the Public Service Union issued a release stating that the decision is contrary to the government's best interest and appears to be a conflict of interest. CEO Valentino Schall said on social media that the switch came because Smart was cheaper. The Briceño administration came under further criticism on Tuesday when the United Democratic Party criticized the move as nepotistic and hypocritical. Today, PM Briceño had his chance to explain the move.
There is no policy that the government is moving from one company to the next company. The issue is simply a matter of economics. The CEO from rural development saying that they had this $30 plan for their workers that are out in the field, and they were complaining that their $30 go up quickly. And they met with BTL and they met with Smart, and Smart gave them a better deal, and that is why they decided to go down that road. But I can tell you that there is not a single person in government or outside of government that can say that I have called any one of them to move their business from BTL to Smart.
But isn't it true that Smart was allowed to go into the cabinet room and make a presentation, make a pitch for its various services?
Well, it is true that both companies were invited to come in to make a pitch for the services they're preparing, because there was a lot of dissatisfaction with the level of service or the customer service that BTL provides. And so both companies were invited to come in with the CEOs, not with the ministers. I wasn't even aware that was going to take place until after the fact.
PM Briceño says the government of Belize is still giving millions of dollars in business to BTL, and that the switch to Smart of some government phone plans should be a wake-up call.
As it is right now, the government is propping up BTL to the tune of millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. If it wasn't because of government, BTL would have gone bankrupt, because BTL, the amount of monies that we have paid for BTL, which is almost $600 million, that not counting interest, BTL will never be able to pay that back. What was how much did you earn last year? You got a BTL expert.
$1.3
million. You think they're going to pay $600 million and not count interest? As it is right now, BTL owes the government millions of dollars in taxes, millions of dollars in dividends. We have been propping up this company. This company also have to become more efficient and more effective and more driven by customer service, not because they are a monopoly, or sorry, they are owned by the government. They can just go and charge anything to what they want, because then the private sector is going to leave them to. Maybe this is a wake-up call to BTL that they have to fix up their service, that they have to do better. They just can't sit on their laurels and continue to fleece the government, because then you and I, all of us, are paying for that.
We reached out to Chairman of BTL, Mark Lizarraga, who declined to comment, telling us that he is out of office on leave and will be back next week. Smart Belize has responded to reports about the government contracts. In a press release issued today, Smart says it is not aware of any directives given by GOB to switch their telecom services to Smart, because the company is owned and operated by relatives of the Prime Minister. However, Smart says they do know of a directive from GOB for the various ministries to institute cost-saving measures. According to Smart, as a result, both BTL and Smart can now equally pursue government business by way of tender. Smart says their proposals, for the first time in many years, have allowed the ministries to compare alternative proposals that result in considerable savings. Smart says this new approach helps GOB to lower costs and avoid waste. According to the release, Smart seeks a level playing field, something they say has been grossly absent in the past when it comes to GOB business. Smart noted the company employs 150 Belizeans. They further note the government is entitled to secure the best telecommunication services, as well as expected BTL to be effectively run. Prime Minister John Briceño says Minister of State in the Ministry of Public Utilities and the area representative for Port Loyola, Gilroy Usher, called him to clarify certain statements he made on a morning show. Usher said the stevedores at the Port of Belize Limited did not have the influence to challenge BSI's move to Big Creek because colored and Afro people are not organized. According to PM Briceño, Minister Usher did not intend for the stevedores' current plight to become a racial issue. He also clarified why Cabinet decided to forego the 2006 MOU between GOB and Toledo Enterprises in favor of BSI's move to the Big Creek port.
It's unfortunate, and I want to make it very clear, and I find it disgusting when anybody will want to make this as a race issue, because it is not. It is not a race. It doesn't matter who it is, and I think that Minister Usher called me to apologize and said that it is in no way he was making it into a race issue. We were just talking that they need to get organized, like the Mayas and so on, and that's fine. There's no problem with that. The government, as a cabinet, the decision was that this MOU that was signed in 2006 the Attorney General was told to us it was unenforceable. You can't force a private entity to stay with one company because it costs more. You have to give that private entity to go somewhere else. It is as if they are telling you, Jules, that you have to go buy it at the store where your grocery bag will cost you $500 when you could go buy it somewhere else for $100. That's simply basic principle that was happening. Also, we need to take into consideration it is not ASR, the transnational company. It is BSI and the cane farmers. Every dollar that is paid to load the sugar, 65 cents is being paid by the cane farmers, by 5,000 cane farmers. And the cane farmers are going through even a more difficult situation than the stevedores. And so they need to find how they could do cost-saving measures. Now, we do believe as a government, we do have a responsibility to see how we can have the stevedores, and we are working on that. So we have to find a way. We just can't disregard them.
PM Briceño also commented on BSI's move to the Big Creek port.
Who we really, I think, believe we need to hold responsible is the Port of Belize, because the Port of Belize, there is no incentive for them to improve their efficiencies, because the more they are charged, the more Port of Belize collects. The Port of Belize gets 20 cents of every dollar that the stevedores charge for the loading of sugar. So the longer they take, the more they make. They have not invested in improving their facilities. So obviously, you have to find another place where you can go that is cheaper and more effective and more efficient and more safely. And that is why that decision was made to go down south.
In response, CEO at PBL, Andy Lane, wrote to News 5 saying, quote, "We should not expect the PM to be an expert on logistics. The modern sugar loading operation in Big Creek will be semi-automated and not require stevedores. So to imply that no modernization of PBL is the cause of stevedores losing work is an oxymoron. PBL's midstream operation should have been far more efficient, but the union ensured that it was not, and that is why the sugar moved south," unquote. The first tranche of Pfizer vaccine, which can be used for young people 12 and older, has arrived.
At Belize Diagnostic Center, we offer FDA-approved PCR testing for COVID-19. Get your results as quickly as 1 hour. Don't risk getting exposed to COVID-19 by going elsewhere. We take appointments, or we can come to your home or office using our concierge service with no additional fees. We have 10 locations countrywide. Call or WhatsApp us at 613-TEST. That is 613-8378 to schedule your test today.
Galenia Hospital, located in Cancun, Mexico's premier tourism destination, is a state-of-the-art healthcare facility that provides highly specialized medical services. We are Quintana Roo's biggest private hospital with board-certified doctors and staff. Some of our services include Cath Lab, Adult Intensive Care Unit, Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, emergency rooms, operating theaters, ambulance services, and more. We are a medically accredited hospital by JCI, Accreditation Canada International, and General Health Council, providing extraordinary care in every specialty, from our cardiology department to our neurology center. We are focused on treating the entire person, body, mind, and spirit. Contact us at medicaltourism@hospitalgalenia.com or visit our website at www.hospitalgalenia.com. Come to Galenia Hospital in Cancun for a truly personal medical care experience.
saw the impacts of COVID-19, and I don't want to experience that again. That is why I took proactive steps to protect myself, my family, my fellow coworkers, visitors, and tourists.
I love seeing my guests happy, and my job is to give them a safe tour. By getting vaccinated, I achieve both these things.
By being vaccinated, I am doing my part to help.
Together, we can build our tourism industry by getting vaccinated. We encourage all tourism workers to get vaccinated so that tourists can continue to choose Belize as their destination of choice. The recovery of our tourism industry depends on you. Get vaxxed.
Whether it's back to the classroom or back on the tablets, the new school year is almost here. We know you missed seeing the children take center stage in 2020, but now Summerfest is back, pandemic style. Join us on August 27th for a virtual celebration of our talented Belizean children. We'll bring you all the family fun and entertainment right in the comfort of your home. Don't worry, we'll still have fantastic giveaways throughout the live show. All you have to do is follow us on Facebook at Open Your Eyes BZ. Our annual Kids Talent Show starts at 6:30 a.m. live on 5 and streamed on Facebook and YouTube. Start your school year right with Summerfest 2021.
Today, the government of Belize received a batch of 111,150 doses of Pfizer vaccine, courtesy of the U.S. government. It is part of President Joe Biden's pledge to support efforts to mitigate the COVID-19 pandemic. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
It was delayed for about an hour, but just after 8 o'clock this morning, a FedEx Express cargo plane landed at the Philip Goldson International Airport. What was considered precious cargo on board was a metal container carrying boxes of Pfizer vaccine. Minutes after the plane landed, the boxes were transferred to a refrigerated truck and transported to Belmopan.
COVID does not recognize borders. COVID does not recognize sovereignty. It attacks humans regardless of what your passport looks like. And the United States is committed to donating vaccines to support the global need to end the damaging public health and economic consequences of this COVID-19 pandemic. And the arrival of this first tranche of the Pfizer vaccine shows how partner nations such as Belize and the United States are working together to battle COVID-19.
It is only the first batch of a total of 345,150 doses of vaccine that will be delivered to the country for distribution. 2 other batches will be sent to Belize in the months ahead.
The donation to Belize, along with the requisite ancillary kits, is a portion of a 5.5 million dose donation of the vaccine to the Caribbean region, as agreed between former CARICOM Chairman Keith Rowley, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, and U.S. President Joe Biden. Here in Belize, through bilateral discussions with the U.S. Embassy, we're happily now receiving this donation. COVID-19 has reinforced how interdependent our world has become, and the lingering pandemic continues to remind us that no one is safe until everyone is safe.
COVID-19 has claimed the life of 4 million persons, including 347 Belizeans. The Minister of Health and Wellness, Michelle Shabat, says that the donation affords an additional level of protection for the country.
Our traditional school system had to adopt to a new mode of teaching and learning. The tourism industry, which Belize and other countries of the Caribbean community depend on for economic growth and sustainability, came to a standstill. We, as a people, had to adopt to a new way of living. As the COVID-19 virus continues to wreak havoc around the world, including our beloved Belize, experts and government officials continue to find ways to reduce infection rates, safeguard lives, provide adequate and effective health care to all, and mitigate the negative effects of the pandemic.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
Over the weekend, on the advice of the Ministry of Health and Wellness, a decision was taken by the Ministry of Education to push back the start date for in-person learning at schools. The change is due to the increasing numbers of COVID-19 cases and the new variants identified in the country. With GOB now in receipt of the Pfizer vaccination, which is the only vaccine approved by the CDC for children 12 years and older, Shabat says it creates opportunities for educational systems and Belizean families.
The decision came when we were finally able to get an arrival date for the vaccine. Once we had that, we immediately engaged the Ministry of Education to push back the start date to the face-to-face. This Pfizer vaccine gives us an opportunity to protect our kids between 12 to 18 years old. And what we are trying to do is to give all of our children the best possible opportunity. We all know that our kids have been out of school for the past year. It has affected them personally, socially, psychologically, and so for us it is important to get them back into school, and this Pfizer vaccine will help us to get them back in the safest possible way.
How will that vaccination campaign look? Because I'm guessing that it would be up to the parents to decide whether their children would.
Right, well, we cannot impose the vaccine. We've not imposed the vaccine on anyone. And if, as an adult, you're super careful with your children, you're going to be even more careful. And at the Ministry of Health and Wellness, we're fully aware of this. We're making all of our doctors available to answer the questions that parents may have. We're working with the principals to try to share as much information as we can so that parents can make an informed decision for their children.
The rollout of the Pfizer vaccine is set to begin on Monday, August 23rd. But Minister Shabat says that until the other batches arrive in country, the 111,150 doses are reserved for children from ages 12 and older.
It's this perception, but I'll tell you that the AstraZeneca vaccine has worked wonderfully. It has had incredible results. I do understand there are people who are waiting for this vaccine. There are people who believe that because they may have some type of allergies and so on, that this may be the better vaccine. In the initial phase, until we receive the second tranche, we are going to try as best as possible to reserve this tranche so that our children can get back into school.
The U.S. government has announced that it is recommending that fully vaccinated persons receive a third booster shot after 8 months. Minister Shabat says that in Belize, we are not at that stage at this time. So far, 150,181 persons have received a first dose of COVID-19 vaccine, while 62,199 adults have been fully vaccinated. When the United Democratic Party lost at the polls in November 2020, the Ministry of Education, under the stewardship of former Minister Patrick Fauber, already had plans to introduce several initiatives for distance learning. According to Fauber, the incoming government promptly ditched those arrangements in favor of its own plans. With an increase in COVID-19 cases and students now having to resort to distance learning, Fauber says that the Ministry of Education is once again unprepared to address these challenges.
We cannot fault the government for making the kind of decision not to convene face-to-face. We can certainly criticize them for putting us in this position yet again without being prepared. You see, when it happened under the UDP's watch, we did not know what to expect and we did not have the kind of time. Had the administration followed through on what the UDP's plans were to offer proper distance learning, and we scrambled. Remember, we had TV programs, we had printed literature and worksheets, workbooks, whatever you want to call them. We started the phablet distribution initiative. We were looking to engage publishers in offering digitized textbooks on these devices for high schoolers. There was DigiLearn. So by now, high schoolers should have been fully equipped digitally, where teachers would have been able to give instruction, students would have been able to do their reading and preparation on the various different platforms that would have been offered through Microsoft Office, I think it was. There was a suite of about 25 software applications that would have assisted students, but all of that was thrown to the water. At least I certainly have not heard of their plan. So to say now, 17 months after, okay, we're going to now have continue with distance learning, and you had already gotten people out of the planning mode to go distance, that we would have gone face to face. The government is caught with its pants down again.
An anonymous tip to News 5 this morning alleged that up to 5 nurses who had tested positive for COVID were being instructed by administration at the San Ignacio Community Hospital to remain on the job. However, this afternoon, Daryl Spencer of the Nurses Association told News 5 it was 1 nurse, not 5. And as soon as their organization got wind of the situation this morning, it was, quote, swiftly addressed and stopped, unquote. He says the nurse was then allowed to go home to self-isolate in accordance with COVID-19 protocols. Minister of Health and Wellness Michelle Shabat was asked about the incident today. He insisted that requiring medical personnel to remain on shift after testing positive for COVID would be a breach of protocols.
Let us recall that they are frontline workers, and so this is part of the risk that they run on us every single day as they go out and do their work. I do know that we have 5 healthcare professionals from the San Ignacio Community Hospital who tested positive. I'm aware of that.
No, sir. We've received reports. We don't know if there's any accuracy to it, that these same health staff that have tested positive are being asked to stay on to continue with their work because they've been vaccinated and that they're asymptomatic. Do you know anything of such reports, sir?
That would be contrary to everything that the Ministry of Health and Wellness has been advocating for, and so that I highly doubt that is the case.
The international media is reporting that a woman who got COVID during a cruise that stopped in Belize has died on her return to the U.S. The 77-year-old retired school teacher, Marilyn Tackett, was traveling with her family on the Carnival Vista and began feeling unwell after a day in Roatan, Honduras. A fully vaccinated Tackett later experienced difficulty breathing, and the doctor on board the ship administered a test which confirmed her positive status. She was taken to the intensive care unit at an unnamed private hospital in Belize City and placed on a ventilator. The ship left Tackett behind and returned to the United States. Her family managed to raise enough money, and the elderly woman was airlifted to Oklahoma, but died days later on August 14th. There are reports of one other cruise ship passenger also hospitalized in Belize in a critical condition. This morning, Health and Wellness Minister Michelle Shabat shared details with the media.
Are cruise ships dumping covered patients in Belize and exposing Belize unnecessary to these dangerous variants?
I don't know that they are dumping them on Belize, but as a country, I think we have a humanitarian responsibility to render health care when possible. I know of the case with the female. Before she was brought on land, there were arrangements made with the hospital, with one of the private hospitals. The person had insurance, health insurance, and so we made sure that all of those were covered before she was allowed to come on land. But we must render humanitarian aid.
Is Cabinet making any decisions in regards to the continued arrivals of cruise ships?
We continue to look at it, and we continue to make sure that we have an ongoing discussion with the cruise lines to make sure that we have the safest protocols in place. I mean, obviously there's never going to be 100% in anything, but we try our best to make sure that we're as safe as we possibly can.
News 5 also spoke with Principal Public Health Inspector at Ministry of Health, John Bowden, who explained the protocols being followed when a tourist requires hospitalization.
In terms of this medical emergency protocol, there is a form that is called Seaport Medical Emergency Referral Form, and that is a form that is filled out by the physician on board the vessel. And that would give us all the particulars in regards to the individual, the patient name, the age, the condition in which the person is found, and why they are requesting a disembarkation of that individual. Of course, this is important during the COVID epidemic because we need to know what cases we're bringing on shore and whether we would have the total capacity to ensure the safety of those individuals while they're coming off, in terms of preventing any spread if it would be COVID, no? And so whenever we get that, it would be reviewed by the regional manager, and then an approval or a denial will be issued. And so that is what is done in essence. Of course, the necessary coordination between the health facility, between emergency response team, for example, BERT, that would be made by the agent that is responsible for the ship during its time within the country.
Bowden is also Belize's International Points of Entry Health Regulations Officer. He said that in the case of an outbreak of a disease on a ship that docks in Belize, there are set guidelines that must be followed in order to protect people on the ground. He says that the last ship that docked with 25 infected persons proved that the mechanisms in place is effective in preventing the spread of the virus to civilians.
Whenever there is an epidemic or emergency on board the vessel, public health is the authority that is responsible for the necessary clearance. So our port health officer, who would be a public health inspector, would visit that ship, and that's the first person that actually disembarks from the tender onto the vessel to ensure that it is safe for anybody else to do any kind of interaction with that vessel. Once that is ascertained, then a clearance is issued to the vessel. So we ensure that all the necessary due diligence are conducted. All these ships that are allowed now to make voyages to the Caribbean for cruise are approved by CDC, meaning that they have put in all necessary mechanisms for the prevention of COVID in place. So they had, for example, a reduction in the number of passengers that are now coming to the country. So when it was at 100% before, now it's at least 70%.
After the break, the latest on Hurricane Grace, which is heading for the Yucatan. Find out what kind of wind and rain northern Belize might expect. But first, here's the latest COVID-19 figures.
This COVID update is brought to you by Belize Medical Associates. This COVID update was brought to you by Belize Medical Associates.
Digi's got the summer deals, and now's the time to join in on Digi's Back to School raffle. Win big with any of our 3 easy ways to enter. 1. Purchase any device on promotion. 2. Be a Digicel or Diginet prepaid customer with at least $10 in usage. 3. Make the switch. Join the Digi family between July 1st and 31st, and you're automatically in to win. Don't miss out on your chance to win Digi's Back to School package, including a laptop, MiFi, and 3 months of free data, all valued over $2,000. Win big with Digi's Back to School raffle, cause Digi's got the summer deals. For more information, visit our website at livedigi.com or visit a Digi store near you.
What does live and let live mean to you?
Live and let live means everyone having the freedom to be themselves.
Live and let live means that I can be a mother and have a career.
It means treating people the way you would want to be treated.
And making sure your business is accessible for all Belizeans.
It means that everyone deserves to be treated with dignity and respect.
It means to love your children no matter what.
It means to support people who face discrimination.
It means that men and women should be treated equally at work.
It means that everyone is able to contribute to building beliefs.
It means saying no to all forms of discrimination.
It means love your neighbor as you love yourself.
Live and let live. Respect for all Belizeans.
Belize Electricity Limited invites primary school students from standards 4, 5, and 6 to enter the annual Safety and Health Week essay competition. Essays should be your original work, explaining what our 2021 Safety and Health Week theme means to you, embracing the new normal and the future, working together focused and safe. Essays should be a maximum of 500 words and submitted electronically by Wednesday, August 25, 2021 to safety@bel.com.bz. First place winners will receive $1,000 cash, second place wins $750 cash, and third place winners will receive $500. The school of each first place winner will also receive a $3,000 cash prize. Visit BEL's Facebook page or email safety@bel.com.bz. Belize Electricity Limited, embracing the new normal and the future, working together, focused and safe.
Last month, my father passed away due to COVID-19. My father was not vaccinated. He was not. To be truthful, the things he would have said would be the things that we're hearing around town. But there were also some of the other things, some of the other myths that really I was trying to tell him, no, Daddy, you need to get your vaccine. But I couldn't convince him in time.
I think what they're doing is a disservice to this country. In my mind, what they're doing is creating fear among people when they should be spreading a message of hope. What I hear them say has no basis, no scientific basis for the assertions they're making. And more than anything else, there's no legal basis for their assertion.
Would he have gotten that vaccine, he would still be here cracking his jokes and being his fun, crazy self, and we really miss him.
Smart continues to expand its internet coverage countrywide to help you live a smarter life.
Our villagers are very happy. They are pleased to know that Smart went the extra mile to put a tower in our village so that our villagers can get live stream on their TVs and they can get their kids doing their online classes. I want to say to Smart, thank you for making it possible for us to get internet in Gardenia Village. We really do appreciate it.
Smart continues to take the internet and mobile services to communities across Belize. Now save even more when you bundle your Smart broadband with Smart mobile services. Smart, bringing people together.
We are well within the hurricane season, and today we have an update on Tropical Storm Grace, which has upgraded to a Category 1 hurricane earlier today. The projection is that the storm, which is barreling towards the Yucatan Peninsula, will make landfall north in Mexico. Today, News 5 spoke with Chief Meteorologist Ronald Gordon, who says that, contrary to false reports that were circulating on social media, the system is not making its way to Belize.
Hurricane Grace was centered near latitude 19.6 degrees north, longitude 83.0 degrees west, with maximum sustained winds of 75 miles per hour. Grace was moving to the west-northwest at 15 miles per hour. The forecast is for Grace to continue on a westward to west-northwestward track during the next 24 hours and eventually make landfall on the Mexican side of the Yucatan Peninsula, somewhere near Tulum or between Tulum, Mexico and Playa del Carmen. The system is forecast to intensify a bit more and is forecast to make landfall as a Category 1 hurricane of 85 miles per hour. However, it could strengthen even further, maybe even to a weak Category 2 hurricane before landfall. We are not under any warning or alert, any tropical storm or hurricane watches or alert or warnings. And that is precisely because the system is forecast to make landfall quite a bit to the north of us. That's one reason. And the second, of course, is because we are on the southern side of the system. Hence, we expect conditions, winds not to be as strong as they would be on the north.
Tropical storm winds are not expected, but the country will be impacted by rains, especially northern Belize, starting tonight. There is also the possibility of flooding across the country. Chief Meteorologist Gordon goes into more details on warnings for the country and for residents to stay alert.
On the country of Belize, we are expecting that winds will be moderate, 15 to 25 knots, mainly in the north and on offshore areas. With possible higher gusts in showers and thunderstorms. We expect that our seas will become rough, not only because of the gusty winds, but also because of large waves or swells that the system will be stirring up, that will be coming into the Gulf of Honduras. And therefore, locally, we are going to be issuing, we already issued a small craft caution, and that is likely to be upgraded to a small craft warning later tonight. The other impact that we expect is that there to be an increase in rainfall. Current projections are for there to be about 1 to 4 inches of rainfall throughout tonight into the next few days, actually until about Saturday or so. And the northern part of the country will be seeing the higher amounts. And however, we are issuing a flood watch for the entire country of Belize because there is a possibility that even though I'm saying 1 to 4 inches, you can have localized higher amounts in feeder bands and thunderstorms. So those could lead to localized flooding, and hence we are issuing an alert countrywide for the possibility of flooding over low-lying and flood-prone areas of the country.
There was a fire on Tuesday night on the corner of George Fraser Street and Iguana Saint Extension in Belize City. The home of Lisa Laureano went up in a blaze. And if that name sounds familiar, that is because Laureano was in police custody earlier this week for the stabbing death of her ex-common-law husband, Albert Broster. We spoke to a fire official today who says Laureano's home was intentionally set on fire.
When we arrived on that location, we observed what was an elevated, probably 10 by 10 structure, fully engulfed. The team got into operation extinguishing this fire, and we did an investigation which we could have then determined the type of structure that actually was there. It was a wooden plywood, probably 4 feet off the ground, what we would refer to as a one-room apartment or one-room dwelling, owner being Miss Lisa Laureano of the said address. Miss Laureano, as we were made to understand, wasn't at home at the time as other matters prevented her from being there. She had only just left the establishment maybe an hour or two prior to, and that was when the building was set on fire. Electrical flaw was definitely ruled out, as you rightfully mentioned. What we have gathered, now this is more towards a criminal matter, but of course the fire department responded. We've got enough information to conclude that this building was intentionally set by person or persons unknown based on a previous altercation between those individuals and Ms. Laureano.
There's more news after the break. Don't go away.
Imagine going through your entire day without the burden and risk of carrying cash on you. Belize's shift to digital wallets has begun, With eCash, we can now skip the cash when collecting money or paying for our essentials, all while using a fast, easy, and secure platform. Simply add funds to your wallet via bank transfer or at an agent, and you're good to go. You will be able to make quick, easy payments simply by scanning QR codes. And best of all, it all happens just like that. Payments are as easy as clicking a link online or scanning a QR code. Download the eCash app from the Google Play and Apple App Store today and take your first step into a cashless lifestyle. The future is here with eCash. For more information, visit www.e-cash.com or contact us via WhatsApp at 613-0257 to find out more.
Nestle. Start healthy, stay healthy.
Bundle the fastest, most reliable, unlimited broadband in Belize with your prepaid or postpaid mobile plan or Netflix. You can bundle your broadband with your prepaid and enjoy 50% off all national calls, plus get SMS and data. Paid plans? Then bundle with any speed and pay only $25 extra monthly to enjoy unlimited smart-to-smart calls, plus 500 minutes, plus 6,300 megabytes of data. Stream unlimited HD movies and TV shows with our broadband, plus the Netflix add-on for only $30 monthly, and enjoy streaming on your laptop, TV, phone, or tablet. Visit a smart showroom near you to sign up or upgrade to the bundle that's right for you. Smart, bringing people together.
The TV you love is always with you, from live TV, sports, and on-demand titles. Choose your plan today. Plans start as low as $15 per month. My TV. Entertainment anytime, anywhere.
I visited the land of Serbia, a great many miles away. I ascended the Mount Everest few people have conquered. I roared on the snow-covered Antarctic and Arctic. I rolled swiftly across the vast, untamed desert. Ling Long Tire conquers every corner of the world.
Distributed by Enrique Martinez and Sons Limited. 2 miles Philip Golson Highway, Belize City.
Myself, my family, my patients, and my community.
Good morning,
Nurse Martinez here. I got my vaccine because I want to protect my family, especially my patients and everybody around me, everybody I come in contact with.
Mi nombre es Nurse Chinchilla. Me vacuné porque quiero proteger mis familias y mis pacientes.
I'm Dr. Nunes, internist at Solar Regional Hospital, and I got vaccinated to protect myself, my staff, and my patients.
Soy el Dr. Eduardo García. He trabajado 22 años en Belice y yo me puse la vacuna del COVID por la sencilla razón de protegerme a mí mismo, proteger a mi familia y proteger al país de Belice, porque es importante pensar en Belice.
Three new COVID-related deaths were recorded on Tuesday, bringing the total number of deaths to 347. There were also 98 positive samples identified, so there are now 771 active cases in the country. 15 persons are hospitalized, 4 of whom are admitted to intensive care units. A lockdown is not the immediate route for the Briceño administration, nor does the Prime Minister see the need for an earlier curfew. So what does the country do with the increasing numbers? Does the Ministry of Health plan to do anything differently? News 5 asked Minister Shabat just that.
The prescription remains the same. The public health measures have worked in the past and they will continue to work. The wearing of the mask continues to be important, the social distancing, the washing of your hands, and now the vaccine. The vaccine is a guarantee that if you do contract the virus, you're not going to have severe side effects, which will possibly keep you out of the hospital and possibly saving your life.
While the increasing number of COVID-19 cases, Minister Shabat was also asked if there will be any amendments to the quarantine regulations as set out in Statutory Instrument number 74 of 2021. There will be no changes in the curfew, which is currently from 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. daily. But other groups have been identified as frontline workers.
Our curfew remains the same. We are going to be adding to the frontline workers who must be vaccinated. We're going to be adding persons who work at our post office as they are interacting with the public on a daily basis. As well, we're going to be including our people who work at the ports because they too are at a high risk for themselves and for the community they serve. So we're going to be making that change.
While we were with the Minister of Health and Wellness, we asked about the constitutional claim that has reportedly been filed by 9 individuals in relation to Statutory Instrument 74 against the Minister Michelle Shabat, Commissioner of Police Chester Williams, and Attorney General Magali Marin Young. Here's how Shabat responded.
I have not been personally served. I understand that the Minister of Health is a respondent in the claim. I have not seen the claim, so it's difficult for me to say. I want to say this though, that the science proves that the vaccines work. You know, don't take my word for it. Listen to the science, and I think that will be your answer.
According to attorney Arthur Saldivar, the claimants are frontline workers and private sector employees, including 3 police officers who are seeking for the court to declare that SI 74 is contrary to their rights of life, liberty, security of the person, and protection of the law. The Human Rights Commission of Belize has spoken out on what it calls constant police abuse of power. While it says it acknowledged the efforts of the leadership of the Belize Police Department in taking swift action against the most recent case, the Commission feels that police abuse is now a trend, and that needs to stop. Vice President of the Human Rights Commission, Cynthia Pitts, weighs in on this matter.
The public has seen the various incidents, the pepper spraying, then you had an incident of a gentleman who was lying on the ground and police were kicking him and abusing him. And there have been many more such incidents. And of course, we are very concerned, and also at the point of knowing that expressing a concern is not really getting these incidents to stop. And so the crucial point now is what can be done to really put a stop to it, because we recognize very well that putting out releases, that is not really doing anything. And so there is need to do something more. And I am remembering that I had heard the commissioner in an interview said that he had submitted a cabinet paper where he would like to have the authority to dismiss officers who violate these fundamental rights of persons, to dismiss them summarily.
Yes.
No. Now, I don't know what has happened since. I haven't heard anything. And we believe that the only way these incidents will be stopped is when the officers who are doing these offenses and activities really feel something that affects them. At the moment, you hear that an investigation is being done, but we don't really know what happened. We don't know if it is just a slap on the wrist. But we believe that if something is done that really affects them personally, their livelihood, then they will pause before they do things like this, and others will take note. So if it's that we have to be in discussion with the commissioner to really find out what has happened to that cabinet paper, then that is what we have to do. And if that gets through, then what we would also like is to have an independent body. It won't be policemen reviewing policemen, an independent body that would be reviewing these incidents.
Pitts also weighed in on the matter of mandatory vaccination when a pandemic threatens human life en masse. Pitts says the Constitution gives the government authority to make such a decision, but within a certain context.
That is the Constitution that we have, that if there is in a situation in the country that your country's health is being jeopardized, then the Constitution does give that authority to have a mandatory release. When you read, I think there are a few cases in the world, the conclusion is that states do have that power, but it has to be taken into the context of what is happening.
The board of directors of the organization Our Circle has issued a statement after their managing director, Daricia Castillo-Salazar, was charged with stabbing a woman in the face in San Pedro last weekend. Our Circle's president, Danae Fairweather, expressed disappointment that this occurred during Pride Island Getaway, an initiative spearheaded by Our Circle during Pride Week. She says they have reached out to the victim, Shanira Perez, and do not want what occurred to, quote, reflect the efforts and progress the organization has made to ensure lived and legal equity for LGBT-formed families, unquote. Daricia Castillo-Salazar has been granted a leave of absence. She was charged with wounding and granted bail on Monday. Just ahead, the Rotary of Belize is taking vaccinations so seriously they are adopting vaccination nurses. Find out more about this new initiative when we return. But first, here's a look at the latest weather conditions with data from the Belize Met Service.
Hola, Tony.
Hey, Kevin, ¿qué onda? ¿Qué pasa?
Nada, le vine a buscar porque necesito comprar más mercancías de vasos y platos desechables para mi tienda de comestible. Me estoy quedando sin esas cosas.
No, hombre, fíjate que desde el 15 de abril no puedo importar nada de eso. Y se me acaba de terminar todo lo que tenía hace como 3 semanas.
Oye, pero nunca has estado sin esas cosas. ¿Qué está pasando?
Mira esto. Esa es la nueva ley que prohíbe todo el uso de plásticos no reutilizables. Esos son vasos, platos, cucharas, tenedores, todo eso. Desde 15 de abril de este año no he podido importar nada de eso. A partir del 15 de enero del 2021 nadie puede fabricarlo. 15 de abril 2021 nadie lo puede vender. Y a partir del 14 de julio del 2021, si alguien te agarra con eso, te multan.
Híjole, no sabía eso. Necesito cambiar algunas cosas. Les diré a mis clientes por qué esas cosas ya no están disponibles. Gracias, Antonio.
Así es, cuídate, man.
I was 17 and in love, and I thought he loved me too. But now I know that a loving partner should not take away your choice of clothes you wear or the music you listen to. He should not take away your purse, car keys, or your phone so that when your family calls, you cannot answer. If your partner is controlling you, it is domestic violence. Call 0800 A Way Out or our cell phone number 672-9628. This message is brought to you by the National Women's Commission in collaboration with Miss Universe Belize with funding from the Engender and Spotlight Project.
Bundle the fastest, most reliable, unlimited broadband in Belize with your prepaid or postpaid mobile plan or Netflix. You can bundle your broadband with your prepaid and enjoy 50% off all national calls, plus get SMS and data. Paid plans? Then bundle with any speed and pay only $25 extra monthly to enjoy unlimited smart-to-smart calls, plus 500 minutes, plus 6,300 megabytes of data. Stream unlimited HD movies and TV shows with our broadband, plus the Netflix add-on for only $30 monthly, and enjoy streaming on your laptop, TV, phone, or tablet. Visit a smart showroom near you to sign up or upgrade to the bundle that's right for you. Smart, bringing people together.
RFNG has been a part of my growth. We have gone from working from just an office to also working from home. And I'm in between both. And I have a very supportive staff that helps me to get that done. And I also have a great company behind me that supports the changing times that we're going through. I am your neighbor, I am your friend, I am your RFNG agent.
Find your nearest RFNG agent on our website at rfginsuranceBelize.com, where it pays to get it right.
As one of the largest cable and internet providers in Belize, CBC strives to provide our customers with the highest standards of quality, value, and service in all aspects of cable TV and internet. Monitoring our systems closely, our technicians combine creative planning and state-of-the-art technology with years of experience and training to develop and provide the most reliable and advanced cable and internet service to exceed your expectations. For CBC and our team of talented engineers, technicians, and customer service representatives, delivering less than the very best is never an option.
The first cruise ship docked at Harvest Key today. The Norwegian Gem has over 1,400 passengers and passed all necessary COVID and other safety guidelines.
On Monday, we had visited that location to verify the protocols that are in place, and we must tell you that, again, these have exceeded what are our minimum standards established within the country, and we are extremely overwhelmed and happy to see what was in place. In fact, at that location, they even have their own health facility to provide on-site treatment of those individuals to a certain level. And whenever a passenger may need to have more than what is there, they have made the necessary construction of different services within the country for the movement of their patient from one location to the next. In terms of medical emergency, it's not only for COVID in this time or within this time of COVID itself, but the protocol is there for whenever there's any sort of medical emergencies and the vessel may not have the necessary competencies or equipment on board to facilitate the necessary services that are required by these passengers. So that opening went well this morning.
Government's vaccine rollout continues to see Belizeans across the country getting their COVID jabs. The ongoing effort, as well as recent increase in the numbers of infection, has seen hospital staff, including nurses, working overtime. To help out, the Rotary Club of Belize has launched an initiative to fund the salaries of several nurses over the next 2 months as they help with the vaccination campaign. Since the beginning of the pandemic in 2020, the organization has been working closely with the Ministry of Health and Wellness. The partnership has helped to raise awareness about COVID-19, as well as the importance of getting vaccinated. Today at the Best Western Biltmore Plaza Hotel, an Adopt a Nurse initiative was launched and a check for $10,000 was handed over to the ministry by Rotary Belize.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness is pleased to collaborate with the Rotary Club of Belize and extends its sincerest appreciation for the continuous support they have given towards a national COVID-19 response. In addition to initially responding to the call to action, the Rotary Club remains committed to the cause and is now providing financial support of $7,250 for 3 nurses to assist in the COVID-19 vaccine program at the Central Health Region in its Adopt a Nurse campaign.
Our Adopt a Nurse project allowed for payments of salaries for 2 nurses for a 2-month period to support the vaccination efforts. The club encourages others to do the same, as our health workers are stretched thin and need all the help that they can get. We presently have in our possession some 144 VPAP machines for distribution and may call on the minister for advice as to where best we may place these machines.
This support came at the right time when Belize launched its COVID-19 vaccination campaign and extended it to all persons 18 years and above. The Central Health Region certainly appreciates the additional nursing support, which is critical to advance with increased coverage for the COVID-19 vaccination in the district.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.